Welcome back to the Ricky Matthews Show. I enjoyed that conversation with Jeff Duncan. We're so lucky to have access to him every week. Hey, listen, I had a great show yesterday with Gerard Gibbert as we talked about Medicaid expansion and more importantly, the role that Medicaid expansion could play in the scheme of Mississippi's overall healthcare system challenges and really I think it brings also an incredible conversation to the health of Mississippians and the work that we need to do in that area. As I said on my show many times, that 51% of Mississippians live in rural areas. And so they reside in what has been sort of a declining healthcare scenario in underserved regions of Mississippi. So the fact that our lieutenant governor and speaker of the House are really focused on having important conversations around that is something that I congratulate them for. And as you know by now the House has overwhelmingly passed a bill for Medicaid expansion, and now we'll watch the Senate and see what Delbert Hosemann and his team are going to do. But these are important conversations. Aside from just Medicaid expansion, I think there's a really important point that Gerard makes, and that is that every legislature should have to go visit the Neo Intensive Care Unit at UMMC Hospital. Actually, you should go to any one of those in Mississippi, because what you'll find is that the majority of the babies who are there are from poor mothers, and in most situations, they did not have good prenatal care. Now, look, you can go into just about any house in poor areas of Mississippi and find that people are not as aware of their health situation as they need to be, the role that food plays in that. But I think, sort of, if you're going to find the tip of the spear, it's the neonatal intensive care unit to see these young babies that in many cases were prematurely born and had tremendous challenges. We need to have conversations in Mississippi about health and healthful eating. We can solve some of the issues on the hospital side, but until we start getting directly engaged in discussions around how to improve the health of Mississippians, we're not really going to fix it. And I'm thrilled to see in the debates we're having conversations about that now. That's one of the reasons why when I spend time with my next guest, Martha Allen, who is the executive director of Extra Table, our conversation moves over to a discussion about how to improve health of Mississippians. And without any further ado, I just want to invite my friend Martha Allen in, and just first of all, just say good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm glad to be here. I'm from the Extra Table studio that is my car this morning. So coming to you live from our warehouse from a work day, and don't have great cell service, but super glad to be with you to talk about the work that we do at Extra Table.
I know you are, and thank you. I know you're always in the midst of doing something, but man, food insecurities and the role we have as Mississippians to work on solving that problem is really important, and it is connected to living a healthy lifestyle and having a better healthcare system in Mississippi. And, Extra Table's really focused on that. If you at the core, what you guys do is about saying, we're not just going to provide food to these food pantries across the state of Mississippi, but we're going to do our part to provide healthy foods. We can't overstate how important that is, can we?
Absolutely. We cannot. One of our two founding principles is that all the food that we provide for free to our food pantry partners must be healthy. So we are sure to provide quality food that doesn't look like a government handout, that looks like something that is on my shelf and your shelf in our home pantries, but pasta and pasta sauce and oats and grits and fruit in light syrup or no sugar added, low sodium vegetables, low sodium soups. Peanut butter is gold, all the canned tuna. A new item we have is canned salmon. We're really excited about that and have gotten a good response. But, we just believe that we can kill two birds at one stone at Extra Table with our work, being efficient and effective and feeding the hungry, but providing quality food. So fighting hunger and obesity hand in hand.
Well, when you really start to drill down, as you said so many times before, but when you start drilling down with the food insecurities that people face, So a lot of it has to do with not having the resources. A lot of it actually has, it has to do with learning what healthy foods are. But even if they knew what healthy foods were, their access to good food options is incredibly limited. And this is, I mean, we're talking about a large portion of Mississippi, aren't we?
We are. We're a state of 2.9 million people, and we're talking about 670,000, and that's numbers kind of pre-COVID census numbers. I'm imagining these numbers have, gone up significantly. We are looking at huge increases in the lines of the food pantries every day and hearing about it. And, hunger is a basic human right. And no one in our state, the most hospitable state, a state we all know and love, should go hungry. And, your intro was so important and struck me strongly because it's so important. You and I might not ever have a preterm baby, and you and I might not ever be hungry, but we have to understand how that affects others around us and how food affects that. And you and I might not ever have a child that's hungry, but in this state, in this place in the world, we are not in the business of regrowing brains. So children at a certain age, if they don't have proper nutrition, it's not going to happen for them later in life. If our high school children truly can't hear the teacher over their stomach growling, have you ever thought about college hunger? And adults are a danger on the factory floor if they do not have proper nutrition and are not able to function, coherently and clearly and, make, spur of the moment good decisions and keep everyone around them safe. And senior citizens without proper nutrition are going to decline. So food is vital, and food is so important to all of our communities and to raising everyone up together. And food and health go hand in hand.
So you have the people who have a choice. They have healthy food options available to them. They can choose whether they want to do that or not, and they have the resources to be able to do that. And then you have the group that you guys deal with, and that is providing food to food pantries all across Mississippi. Are you in every county yet, by the way?
We're not. We're getting closer and closer, though. We're getting closer and closer. And, Ricky, what we deal with is not just the haves and the have-nots. It's also, are you able to read the label? Is your culture, we have to be culturally sensitive when we talk about food. Some groups don't, eat certain items, and we have to consider all of those things and meet people where they are. And, families that are, very poor and low income and don't have the education levels, education has to be done around, cooking food, storing food. Everyone wants to provide for their children and cook a meal, and we have to give them education sometimes.
Yeah, that's actually you almost made the point for me that you have say on one end of the continuum, you have people who have resources and the means. On the other, the group that's literally fed by the food pantries across Mississippi, and you're working with them and diligently. But then there's a group in between, and for what they're able to feed themselves, but the choices, like I actually did a search, and the most popular foods in Mississippi, this may not still be true, but I think it's close. It's fried chicken, fried okra, and mashed potatoes, and gravy. I mean, look, that's okay to eat that every now and then, but when you eat like that every day, the cumulative effect of that is incredibly damaging to your body.
And Chef Robert St. John founded Extra Table, and you can often hear Robert talk about how when he founded Extra Table, he was so confused, as a man who has made his living feeding people, filet mignon to put his kids through school and creates wonderful meals in restaurants. He didn't understand how there was so much hunger in Mississippi, but yet there were such high levels of obesity and heart disease and diabetes. And he took a little road trip as he developed Extra Table's footprint. And he, realized quickly that our rural nature and that there's so many other factors. These kids or families that don't have transportation or don't have the knowledge, they're going to a gas station and they're getting a bag of Doritos and a Mountain Dew, and they think that that's food, and they aren't preparing something nutritious. And so a couple hours later, they're hungry, they've had high calorie intake, and that's where obesity and all these other things come from. So it's a lack of proper nutrition in many locations, and that affects us all long term.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in the Mississippi Delta. If I go to the farms that I lease in various cities in the Mississippi Delta, inevitably there'll be a convenience store that's sort of like the local shopping center for everyone. And what do they have there? Well, they have some of the best fried chicken you've ever eaten, and they have French fries and tater tots and potato logs, and that. But
You
that
sound like you've been to a Double Quick in the Delta. They've got the best fried chicken ever.
there's no doubt they do. They do. But again, now and then, fine. But you do that every day. It has an impact, and we've just got work to do as a state to educate people who have food insecurities and who don't know what they need to know about that. A lot of this is cultural, It's just work. We've got work to do, and until we really strive big time to improve the health of Mississippians, we're always going to have healthcare challenges in this state. And unfortunately, our neonatal intensive care units will remain full of people who had mothers, young infants who have mothers that didn't do proper prenatal care, and it's just a real problem, and we got to focus on it. Okay, when we come back on the other side, we're going to talk about a really important effort involving the mayors of coastal Mississippi. We'll see you after this. Welcome back to the Ricky Matthews Show. I'm so happy to be here from the Citizens Bank studio with my friend Martha Allen. And really, I do, say my friend. I've really enjoyed getting to know you, Martha, over the years, and your dedication, your great partnership with Robert St. John, and forming and sort of keeping this effort moving forward, and contributing free, healthy foods, free, to the food pantries. Believe me, the food pantries look forward to the deliveries, don't they?
They do, man. I just got off the phone with a great coastal food pantry a few minutes ago. It was such a good call. And I love that they recognize that we work so hard to help be their partner and to support them and to provide them quality food that they can be proud to serve the people in their community. So it's really fun. At Extra Table, if you're not familiar with exactly how we work, we are in our 15th year of service. We were founded by Chef Robert St. John in 2009, and we are not a food pantry. We're a food bank. So we fundraise in order to purchase new, healthy, and shelf-stable food that we warehouse and ship directly to the doorsteps of 62 food pantries and soup kitchens to the tune of $85,000 every single month for free. No charge to a food pantry ever.
That's incredible. In fact, you're in your car now because you're at the warehouses, and the point about you need volunteers, and volunteers are working as we speak, aren't they?
You're exactly right. We've got a crew here this morning and just don't quite have the cell phone service in the building. So coming to you live from the parking lot.
That's good. Okay, March of the Mayors, really important effort, isn't it?
It is such an important effort, and I love that we're on Coast View to talk about this, because this event is successful because of all the Coasties. This event started 4 years ago on the Gulf Coast. We started with 7 mayors, and it was the year y'all did not have Mardi Gras, and it was a mayoral election year, and we were like, our coast friends are just starved to share some energy and to do some good and to get out and be together in the community. And so we created this March of the Mayors activity, and we ask each mayor across the coast to champion one healthy shelf-stable item. So an example of that is peanut butter, a bag of dried beans, corn, so each mayor is assigned a different item. They've been collecting for 4 weeks. And on the coast, you have until next Wednesday, the 6th of March. I had to think real quick. Next Wednesday, the 6th, is D-Day for all your donated items, the canned food items. So go to extratable.org to find out what your mayor is collecting and join us. This collection is important. And then on Friday, March the 8th, we'll have the grand food box packing party. So, Ricky, the Neshoba County Fair may have the largest house party, but Extra Table has the largest food box packing party for sure.
So, okay, so I think, isn't it true? I mean, do we have all the mayors now? Are they all engaged?
We have a lot of them. Can I read my list? I have a cheat sheet.
Yeah.
So, we've got Bay St. Louis, Biloxi, D'Iberville, Diamond Head, Gaucher, Gulfport, Long Beach, Moss Point, Ocean Springs, Pascagoula, Pass Christian, Picayune, and Waveland. So this list keeps growing because of all the good people and incredible leadership across the coast.
That's so awesome to see, and we'll see what we can do to get everybody involved. We've had those conversations before, and we had good success, adding mayors. But I know the mayors that are Yeah, I know the mayors who are engaged are really engaged, and some of it little competition, little fun competition between them. That's cool to see as well, isn't it?
It's so cool. The competition is wonderful. And they're always like, who won? Who won? I'm like, there is no winner. The hungry people in each of our communities won, but you did a wonderful job, star. But yeah, these mayors that are involved are so involved. It's amazing. I love that they show up for the packing party. They have, their city departments and their communities and their schools all engaged. Mayor Billy Hughes recorded a video. Check out our Facebook page. And he's eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich with his mouth full because Gulfport collects peanut butter. And he's like, I mean, come on, it's delicious. It's a great protein. So they all have their personalities, and but they all voice and know how important it is that the citizens of the coast have food. And that's our mission at Extra Table. And we love serving our partners across the coast.
I love, and I talk about this on my show all the time, but there's always going to be competition between the cities of coastal Mississippi. And the reality is it used to be there was very severe competition, so much so that there was infighting and they couldn't get on the same page about common issues and whatever. We've made so much progress over many years. Certainly Katrina helped us kind of get on the same page, but you can have the cities being competitive at each other at sort of the ground level, but when you get to the point of having conversations about food pantries and collecting food or infrastructure or anything, going to the legislature and talking about something that involves the region of Mississippi, we don't have confusion anymore about getting on the same page about that. In fact, when you get the mayors together, whereas before they might have been really antsy with one another, and this is many years ago, today they actually enjoy each other. They enjoy being together. They want to help each other. And that never has been more clear than when Moss Point had the tornado and the other mayors did everything they could to come together to help Mayor Knight. It's just really, really reassuring to see. Martha, we're out of time, but it's been a pleasure to spend some time with you, my friend.
Wonderful. Hope to see you next week. Be sure you get your donated items in by the 6th on the coast.
You bet. Please get your donated items in. Listen, have a great weekend, and we will see you Monday morning.
Bye-bye.